Part 1. The Voicemail. The entire town thought he was dead, but the voicemail on her phone told a different story. Monday morning, 6:17 a.m. Detective Emily Carver was awakened by a call from her old high school. It was Carl, the school janitor. "Detective," he said breathlessly, I found someone. Principal Grant, I think he's dead." Grant was a retired history teacher and one of the town's most beloved figures. He had no enemies. But when Emily arrived at the building, the scene she encountered was no ordinary death. The office window was shattered, everything inside was in disarray, and on the old blackboard on the wall, a single sentence was written in red chalk. "You didn't believe me. Now you'll pay the price." Before the autopsy report was even out, Emily's phone rang. An unlisted call. When she answered, a static-filled voicemail recording automatically started. "Emily, please find me. I'm still alive, but I don't have much time left. And someone is watching me." The date of the message? 2 days ago, after Principal Grant's death. Part 2. Ghosts and Shadows. Emily stared at her phone, a chill running down her spine. Principal Robert Grant's voice was unmistakable, the slight Boston accent, the formal cadence. But it couldn't be real. She'd just seen his body, cold and still on his office floor. "Got anything?" Detective Marcus Webb, her partner of 3 years, ducked under the police tape with 2 coffee cups in hand. Emily pocketed her phone. Nothing makes sense. No signs of forced entry besides the broken window, which appears to have been shattered from the inside. And this message... She gestured to the blackboard. Revenge? For what? Webb handed her a coffee. "Grant was Riverdale's golden boy, 40 years as a teacher, then principal, organized fundraisers for everything from the library to the animal shelter." "Everyone has secrets," Emily murmured, her mind still on the impossible voicemail. The medical examiner, Dr. Sarah Chen, approached them, removing her gloves. "Preliminary cause of death is blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Single blow, heavy object, possibly the missing trophy from that empty case. Time of death approximately between 10 p.m. and midnight last night." "Any defensive wounds?" Emily asked. "None. He never saw it coming," Dr. Chen replied. "But there's something strange. No blood under his fingernails, but there's a substance I'll need to analyze. Almost looks like red chalk dust." Emily glanced at the blackboard. Red chalk. The same used for the message. Outside the school, former students and teachers gathered, placing flowers and candles by the entrance. Emily noticed a woman standing apart from the crowd, mid-30s, arms crossed protectively over her chest, watching the proceedings with hollow eyes. "That's Meredith Wilson," Webb whispered. "Taught English here for 5 years until last spring when she abruptly resigned. Rumor has it she and Grant had some falling out." Emily approached her. "Ms. Wilson? Detective Carver. I wonder if I might ask you a few questions." The woman barely met her eyes. "I have nothing to say about Robert Grant." "You don't seem too broken up about his death." A bitter smile touched Meredith's lips. "Should I pretend, detective? This town thinks he was a saint. I know better." "Care to elaborate?" Meredith hesitated. "Last year I started noticing inconsistencies in the school finances. When I took my concerns to the school board, Grant convinced them I was mentally unstable, having a breakdown. I lost my job, my reputation." "Did you confront him about it?" "Many times. He always had an explanation, a way to turn things around on me." She looked toward the school. "I hated him, detective, but I didn't kill him." Back at the station, Emily pulled Grant's financial records. Nothing suspicious on the surface. Modest salary, reasonable expenses, but a secondary account caught her attention, with regular deposits over the past 5 years and significant withdrawals in the last month. She played the voicemail again, studying the background noise, wind, what sounded like traffic, and something else. The distant sound of a bell. Her phone buzzed with a text from Webb. Grant's house clear. No signs of struggle. Found his phone. Last call Sunday night at 9:13 p.m. to someone named LM, trying to trace. Emily ran a search on LM connected to Riverdale High. One name popped up. Liam Mitchell, the vice principal who'd taken over after Grant's retirement. Night had fallen by the time Emily drove to Mitchell's address, a modest suburban home with a well-kept lawn. No lights were visible inside. She knocked, waited, then tried the door. Unlocked. "Mr. Mitchell?" she called, stepping inside, hand hovering near her weapon. "Riverdale Police." The house was immaculate, almost unlived in. On the dining table sat a single manila folder labeled Insurance. Inside were photographs. Principal Grant with a young woman, meeting in secluded locations, exchanging what appeared to be envelopes. The final photo showed Grant arguing with someone whose back was to the camera. Emily recognized the location, the school parking lot. A noise from the back of the house sent her drawing her weapon. "Mr. Mitchell?" The back door stood open, curtains billowing in the night breeze. A second call came at midnight. Different number, same voice. "Emily, please, they're all connected. The money, the students, everything. Look at the 2018 yearbook, page 43. Find Liam before—" The message cut off abruptly. Part 3. Buried Truths. The 2018 yearbook from the school archives was unremarkable at first glance. Page 43 featured the junior class candids, teenagers with forced smiles and awkward poses. Emily was about to dismiss it when she noticed a small notation in the corner. Not pictured. Amelia Crawford. The name triggered a distant memory. 5 years ago, a high school student had gone missing. The case wasn't hers, but it had been all over the news. Amelia Crawford had vanished after school one day. Despite extensive searches, she was never found. Emily pulled the case files. Amelia had last been seen entering Riverdale High for after-school tutoring with Principal Grant. When dawn broke, Emily found herself at the abandoned Crawford house. Amelia's parents had moved away a year after the disappearance, unable to bear the constant reminders. The property was overgrown, the house decaying. As Emily walked the perimeter, she spotted fresh tire tracks leading toward the old shed behind the house. Inside the shed, the dust had been disturbed. A trap door in the floor, previously hidden under an old rug, stood partially open. Heart pounding, Emily descended into darkness. Her flashlight revealed a small cellar and walls covered with photographs and news clippings. A makeshift investigation board focused on Principal Grant, the school finances, and several students, including Amelia Crawford. In the center was a desk with a laptop, still open, the screen showing a paused video. Emily pressed play. A shaky recording showed Grant arguing with a female student. Though the audio was poor, the words were clear enough. "Nobody will believe you. Your word against mine. Who do you think they'll trust?" The girl fled, and the camera followed, revealing the person filming, Liam Mitchell. A noise upstairs. Emily drew her weapon again and crept back toward the trap door. Before she could reach it, a figure appeared at the top of the stairs. "Detective Carver?" Vice Principal Mitchell looked haggard, with several days' stubble and bloodshot eyes. "Thank God. I've been trying to reach you." "Your hands where I can see them, Mr. Mitchell." He raised his trembling hands. "I'm not armed, and I'm not your killer, but I know who is, and Robert's death is just the beginning." At the station, Mitchell sat in the interrogation room, a cup of coffee cooling between his shaking hands. 5 years ago, I suspected something wasn't right with Grant's special tutoring sessions, he explained. Certain female students would be called in regularly, always alone. Amelia Crawford started behaving differently after these sessions, withdrawn, anxious. "You think he was abusing students?" Emily asked. "I started documenting, gathering evidence. But before I could go to the authorities, Amelia disappeared. The investigation never connected her to Grant. He had an alibi, provided by our school secretary, Diana Lowell." "And the financial irregularities Meredith Wilson found?" Mitchell nodded. Part of the same pattern. Grant was taking bribes, changing grades, writing college recommendations, covering up disciplinary issues for wealthy families. When anyone got close to the truth, he'd discredit them. Like he did with Meredith Wilson. Exactly. I've spent years building a case, but I needed solid proof. 3 days ago, I finally got it. A thumb drive from Diana Lowell, who couldn't live with the guilt anymore. It contained records of everything, the bribes, the cover-ups, and evidence suggesting Grant was directly involved in Amelia's disappearance. "So you confronted him?" "Sunday night. I told him I was going to the police. He laughed, said I'd never make it. When I left his house, I realized someone was following me. I've been hiding ever since." "And the voicemails?" Emily asked. "How did you send messages from Grant's phone after his death?" Mitchell looked genuinely confused. "What voicemails?" Before Emily could respond, Webb burst into the room. "We found something at Grant's house, hidden compartment behind his bookshelf. Contains thousands in cash, fake IDs, and this." He placed a small red velvet box on the table. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet. Engraved on the inside, Amelia C. "There's more," Webb continued. "Diana Lowell was found dead in her apartment an hour ago. Apparent suicide. Left a note confessing to killing Grant out of guilt." Mitchell shook his head vehemently. "That's impossible. Diana would never—" Emily's phone rang. Unknown number. "Time's running out, Emily." Diana didn't kill herself. The same person who killed Grant is tying up loose ends. You're looking in the wrong place. It's not about what happened 5 years ago. It's about what's still happening now. Part 4. Web of Deception. The station buzzed with activity as Emily coordinated the dual investigations. Diana Lowell's apartment had been processed. A neat gunshot to her temple, the presumed suicide weapon still in her hand, and a typed confession on her computer. Too neat, Emily thought. She spread photos from both crime scenes across her desk. Grant's office in disarray, the mysterious message on the blackboard. Diana's apartment pristine except for where she had fallen, the confession conveniently accessible. "Staged," she murmured. "What's that?" Webb asked, bringing her another coffee. "Both scenes. They're performances." Emily pointed to the school blackboard. "This message, it's theatrical. And Diana's suicide, too perfect." Webb frowned. "The confession matches her laptop's typing patterns. Forensics confirmed it." "That doesn't mean she wrote it willingly." Emily pulled up the school's personnel files. "Diana worked at Riverdale for 22 years. Never married. Grant was her emergency contact." "They were close?" According to Mitchell, she provided Grant's alibi the day Amelia Crawford disappeared. Emily studied Diana's employee photo, a plain woman with kind eyes. What if she wasn't just covering for him? What if she was involved? A folder slid across her desk, forensics from Grant's cell phone. The call log showed his last outgoing call to Liam Mitchell, as expected. But the incoming calls were more interesting. Multiple calls from Diana Lowell on the night of his death. "Check this out," Webb said, pointing to a text message from Diana to Grant sent at 9:47 p.m. "It's all falling apart. Mitchell knows. Meet me at the school." "So Diana lured him to the school the night he died?" Emily mused. "Motive for murder, followed by guilt-driven suicide," Webb suggested. Emily wasn't convinced. "Let's look deeper into Diana's background," A search revealed that Diana had been previously employed at 3 other schools across different states. Each school had reported a missing female student during her tenure. None of the cases were solved. "This doesn't fit the profile of an accomplice," Emily said. "This looks like—" "A serial predator," Webb finished, his expression grim. Emily remembered the voicemail. "It's not about what happened 5 years ago, it's about what's still happening now." She pulled the current student roster for Riverdale High. "We need to identify any students who might be at risk. Girls who had frequent contact with Diana Lowell, especially those from troubled backgrounds." As they worked, School Superintendent Thomas Parker arrived at the station, visibly agitated. "Detectives, this is getting out of hand. 2 staff members dead in as many days. Parents are panicking." "We understand your concern, sir," Emily replied. "We're working to determine if any current students might be in danger." Parker smoothed his expensive tie. "Surely you don't think these tragedies are related to our students?" "We're exploring all possibilities," Webb said diplomatically. "Where were you Sunday night, Mr. Parker?" Emily asked suddenly. His eyebrows shot up. "Excuse me? Am I a suspect now?" "Just establishing a timeline." "I was at a fundraising dinner at the Riverside Country Club until about 11, then home with my wife. Dozens of people can confirm my whereabouts." After he left, Webb gave Emily a questioning look. "You suspect the superintendent?" "I suspect everyone who benefits from maintaining Riverdale's pristine reputation." She pulled up Parker's personnel file. "Including the man who personally hired both Grant and Diana, and who's been receiving mysterious donations to the special educational fund he personally oversees." That evening, Emily visited Meredith Wilson again. The former English teacher invited her in, the apartment cluttered with half-packed boxes. "Moving?" Emily asked. "Got a job offer in Portland. After everything that's happened, I can't leave fast enough. Before you go, I need to know exactly what you found in the school finances." Meredith retrieved a laptop. "I made copies of everything before they took my school computer. Regular transfers from the district's general fund to a special educational account, then dispersed to offshore accounts." "Who had access to this special account?" "Grant, Parker, and presumably Diana as the administrative assistant." Meredith pulled up another file. "But there was something else that bothered me. Student records being altered, grades, attendance, disciplinary notes. Always the same type of student." "What type?" "Vulnerable girls, foster care, single parents, troubled homes. Girls no one would miss or believe." A chill ran through Emily. "Like Amelia Crawford?" Meredith nodded slowly. "Exactly like Amelia, and there have been others since her." Emily's phone buzzed, a text from Webb. Yearbook lead paid off. 3 students from the 2018 class with suspicious transfers mid-year, working on current roster now. As she drove back to the station, Emily tried to make sense of it all. A trafficking operation hiding in plain sight at Riverdale High, Grant and Diana as the facilitators. But who was the mastermind? Her phone rang, another unknown number. "The janitor, Emily. Ask him about the basement storage room. Ask him what he found the night before he discovered Grant." The school was dark when Emily arrived, save for a single light in the maintenance area. Carl, the janitor, was cleaning equipment, surprised by her late visit. "Detective?" "Something else you need to see." "The basement storage room, Carl. What did you find down there Sunday night?" The color drained from his face. "How did you—" "I never told anyone." "Show me." He led her through dimly lit corridors to a heavy door marked "Maintenance Only." Inside, past shelves of cleaning supplies, he moved a tall storage cabinet, revealing another door, unmarked and fitted with a new lock. "I came down here looking for a specific chemical for the gym floors," Carl explained, his voice low. "Noticed this cabinet had been moved. The door behind it was slightly open. What did you see? A room set up like a photo studio. Lights, camera equipment, a bed. He swallowed hard. And pictures on the walls. Students. Our students. And you didn't report this immediately? I was going to first thing Monday. But when I came in and found the principal, he shook his head. I thought whoever did this had come back and killed him. I've been terrified they'd come for me next. Emily tried the door. Locked. We need to get this open. Now! Before Carl could respond, a voice came from behind them. I wouldn't do that, Detective Carver. Emily turned to see Superintendent Parker standing in the doorway, a gun trained on them. Thomas, Carl gasped. What are you doing? Protecting our legacy, old friend. Parker's smile was cold. Riverdale High has a reputation to maintain. We can't let a few troublesome individuals ruin that, can we? Part 5. Unmasked. Put the gun down, Parker, Emily said calmly, positioning herself between the superintendent and the terrified janitor. Do you know how much money flows into this district because of our reputation? Parker kept the weapon steady. College placements, donations, property values, all because parents believe their children are safe here. And you protected that reputation by trafficking vulnerable students, Emily replied, mentally calculating the distance to her own weapon. Parker laughed. Such a dramatic accusation. We simply helped certain problems disappear while helping others solve their unique desires. A mutual arrangement. With Grant and Diana as your recruiters. Robert had an eye for identifying the right candidates. Diana handled the documentation, a perfect system, until Liam Mitchell started prying. Parker's expression hardened. Then Meredith Wilson found the financial trails, too many loose ends. So you killed Grant? Grant was becoming a liability, getting sloppy, keeping souvenirs. Parker gestured with the gun. Move away from the door, Detective. Where's Liam Mitchell? Emily asked, not moving. Probably halfway to Canada by now if he's smart. Otherwise, he'll join our other loose ends. A floorboard creaked somewhere in the corridor behind Parker. His eyes flicked toward the sound, just enough distraction for Emily to lunge forward, knocking his gun arm upward as a shot fired into the ceiling. They struggled, crashing into shelves of cleaning supplies. Emily felt the sting of a blow to her temple but maintained her grip on his wrist, forcing the weapon toward the floor. Another shot discharged, the sound deafening in the confined space. Parker's eyes widened in shock. He looked down at the spreading red stain on his crisp white shirt, then collapsed. Behind them, Webb appeared with his weapon drawn. Emily, you okay? I'm fine, she gasped, retrieving Parker's gun. He's shot, but still breathing. Call an ambulance. While Webb called it in, Emily used Parker's keys to unlock the hidden room. Inside was exactly as Carl described. A makeshift studio set up for exploitation. Walls covered with photographs of young girls, including Amelia Crawford. A desktop computer held files meticulously organized by name and date, records going back 7 years, and in a locked cabinet, passports and documentation for relocating the victims. It's a trafficking operation, Emily told Webb as officers secured the scene, with Parker as the ringleader. Grant and Diana were his recruiters. And they started cleaning house when Mitchell and Wilson got too close, Webb added. But there's still something I don't understand. Those voicemails you received. If Grant is dead, who's been calling you? Before Emily could respond, her phone rang again. Unknown number. Put it on speaker, Webb said. Emily answered. This is Detective Carver. You found it, came the now familiar voice. The evidence you need is all there. In the computer, there's a file called Insurance. The password is Amelia 2018. That will give you everything, names, dates, buyers. Who is this? Emily demanded. How are you calling me using Grant's voice? A pause. Meet me at the old boathouse by Miller's Lake in 1 hour. Come alone. The call ended. It's a trap, Webb insisted. Obviously. Maybe, Emily said, staring at her phone, but I need to know who's been helping us. The forensics team arrived to process the hidden room while paramedics transported Parker to the hospital under guard. Emily slipped away during the commotion, leaving Webb coordinating the scene. Miller's Lake sat at the edge of town, a once popular recreation spot now largely abandoned. The old boathouse stood silhouetted against the night sky, its weathered dock extending into the dark water. Emily approached cautiously, weapon ready. I'm here, she called out. Show yourself. Movement from within the boathouse. A figure emerged slowly, hands raised. Hello, Detective Carver. Emily stared in disbelief. Amelia Crawford? The young woman stepped into the moonlight, early 20s now, thin and pale, but unmistakably the girl from the missing person reports. You're alive, Emily whispered. Barely, Amelia replied, her voice eerily similar to Grant's in the recordings. I've been hiding for 5 years, gathering evidence, waiting for the right time. The voicemails, how? Amelia produced a small device. Voice modulation technology. I studied audio engineering before. Everything happened. I needed you to listen without revealing myself too soon. Why not just come forward? Would you have believed me? A missing girl suddenly reappearing, accusing the town's most respected educators of running a trafficking ring? Amelia shook her head. I needed evidence first. So you killed Grant? Emily kept her weapon lowered but ready. I confronted him, showed him what I had. He attacked me. Amelia's eyes hardened. I defended myself. Then I used his phone to lure Diana to his office, made her think he wanted to meet. I left the message on the blackboard. And Diana? I never touched her. That was Parker, covering his tracks. Amelia stepped closer. I've been watching them for years, Detective, documenting everything. I'm not the only victim who escaped. We've been working together, building a case. We? From the shadows of the boathouse, another figure emerged. Liam Mitchell. Mitchell helped me get away 5 years ago, Amelia explained. He's been my only ally inside the school, helping me track their operation. Mitchell looked exhausted but relieved. We've identified at least 20 girls who went through their system, Detective, and we believe there are more at other schools across the state. Emily holstered her weapon. You need to come in, both of you. Make official statements. Will you protect us? Amelia asked, vulnerability finally showing through her carefully constructed facade. Parker has powerful friends. Yes, Emily promised, and your evidence will help us find every last one of them. As they walked back toward her car, Emily's phone buzzed with a text from Webb. Parker died en route to hospital, computer files encrypted. Where are you? She texted back, bringing in our key witnesses and the real story. Meet me at the station. Amelia glanced over. Is it over? The Riverdale part is, Emily replied. But from what you've uncovered, I think we're just getting started. Epilogue. 6 months later. Spring had returned to Riverdale. The high school, under new leadership, was slowly recovering from the scandal that had rocked the small town. Emily sat across from Amelia in the courthouse cafeteria, both taking a break during the ongoing trial against Superintendent Parker's network of accomplices. The investigation had expanded to 3 states, uncovering similar operations at multiple schools. The prosecution seems confident, Emily commented. Amelia nodded, looking stronger than she had 6 months ago. The evidence is overwhelming, and 5 more survivors have come forward to testify. Thanks to you. And you, Amelia replied, for believing a ghost. Emily smiled. Not many people can say they solved their own murder. The truth had emerged gradually. After escaping from Grant and Parker 5 years earlier, Amelia had been presumed dead, allowing her to work from the shadows. Mitchell had discovered her hiding in the Crawford house months after her disappearance and became her ally instead of reporting her. Together, they had documented the trafficking network, waiting for the right moment to expose it all. When Mitchell discovered the thumb drive from Diana, who had been having second thoughts about her involvement, they finally had concrete evidence linking Parker to the operation. "What will you do after the trial?" Emily asked. "Finish college. Maybe law school," Amelia said. "Help other survivors navigate the system." Emily's phone rang, Webb calling from the station. "Carver." "That's the last of Parker's accounts we've tracked," Webb reported. "Over $12 million in offshore holdings, all from his special educational fund." "Good work. Any word on the Rochester connection?" "Still developing, but it looks like another superintendent with the same setup." Emily ended the call, turning back to Amelia. "Your information was right. They've found another operation in Rochester." Amelia's eyes reflected determination rather than fear now. "Then we keep going until we find them all." As they walked back to the courtroom, Emily reflected on how the case had begun, with an impossible voicemail from a dead man. The town had thought Principal Grant was the victim, never suspecting he was part of a predatory system hiding behind Riverdale High's respected facade. The final piece had been the secret room where they'd collected and processed vulnerable students before sending them to specialized programs that were fronts for trafficking. The operation had been running for nearly a decade, protected by the community's unwillingness to look beneath the surface of their perfect town. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters as the trial of one of Parker's wealthy clients resumed. Amelia straightened her shoulders, ready to face the cameras and tell her story one more time. "Ready?" Emily asked. "I've been ready for 5 years," Amelia replied. "Let's finish this." As they entered the courtroom, Emily's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. The last communication from their anonymous helper before Amelia had revealed herself. "Some ghosts don't rest until justice is served. Thank you for listening, Detective." The end.